Hi guys, welcome back to the player, and today, well, we're going to be taking a look at an iconic car. And when I mean iconic, this is the Suzuki Vitara, but it's not quite how I remember it back in the 80s, which back in 88 when it was launched, it fast became one of the most popular cars on the British roads. Let's take a look around it and see if it's still got those Vitara attributes that it had back in the 80s. So the Vitara, well, it comes in two different engine variants. There is a 1 litre, get my words out, 1 litre 3-cylinder engine, and this one is the 1.4 litre 4-cylinder engine, and it's called a booster jet. This one sounds like something you put in the back of the car for your young child, like a booster seat, but this is called the booster jet. And this is a variant of 9 that is called the all grip, and the all grip basically means you've got all-wheel drive. So it's not independent four-wheel drive, it's an all-wheel drive car. The car itself, well, design-wise, I'll leave that up to your imagination, because whoever designed this obviously had a rather lack of imagination, in my opinion. And the colour, well, I'm sure my mother would love this, and she's 84. Round at the back of the Vitara, well, sadly, again in my humble opinion, the bad looks continue. I mean, crikey, come up with a good design, you know. The old one is just so letting it down. I'm so disappointed, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's crack on and have a look inside. It's not the biggest of boots, but the first thing you're going to notice is it does have a nice level loading here. Got these lovely plastic scuff guards, which again are not going to last 5 minutes, but it has a couple of things which I'm really impressed with. First one, it has a shopping bag holder, but then it's probably designed for my mum to go shopping in, so you would expect it to have one. Has a 12-volt adapter that side as well, but here's where it gets good. So if you lift this bit up here, it actually sits up by itself because it's got a little latch in there. Now, you know I'm always going on about the parcel shelves and you can't get rid of them. Can you believe it? This car, actually, watch this, it is so cool. It's probably the coolest. I mean, it's the worst parcel shove I've ever seen. Look, it actually buckles. But you can throw it in there, and guess what? Ta-da! It's gone. Yes. It's unbelievable. I can't believe they've actually gone to the trouble to do that. But there you go. Okay, so when the seats go down, it's okay. I mean, you can flip them down. You've got to get over there to do it. There's no buttons at the back here, but I'll put the other one down and you can have a look how big it is. They don't go entirely flat, but you know, we're not expecting miracles from this car. Let's get in the back and see how much leg room and headroom there is. Right, let's check out in the back and see how good it is for your passengers. So the first thing, first thing you notice is this here is look, I mean, look, that's ridiculous. I just caught my knee on it. I mean, it's really tight to get in here. You've literally got to get your leg around, which I've just caught and hurt. Oh, that really was poor design yet again. But we've got plenty of leg room and plenty of height. But looking up here, it looks like my old mother's tights have been used as a sunblind for some reason. It's really horrible. Electric windows at the back, well, that's good. And there is somewhere to put, you know, a bottle of water or something. Isofix points both sides. I do like this design. It looks like a tyre that's running through the middle, and it's quite soft as well. So these are quite comfortable. I'm going to give it that. So we've got a thing. There's nothing to pull down here at all. So there's no centre armrest. Climbing over the middle, well, you're having a laugh, aren't you? This is no way in a million years you want to sit here. Right, I think a seatbelt just found its way somewhere where I'm not used to having things put. That's not very nice. There are no independent heating controls. There is no 12 volt. There is no USB. There's not a lot in the back here, but There's somewhere to sit, I suppose, if someone's giving you a lift. Let's jump in the front and have a look there as well. Right, let's check out up front. Well, believe it or not, this seat is quite comfortable. So let's shut the door so you can hear me better. Steering wheel, it's a little bit high. You've got a fairly large touchscreen here. It's keyless ignition, so foot on the brake and let's get it started. This is a 6-speed auto gearbox. However, when you try to put this in gear, instead of having a small bridge where if you want to go into manual you have to click over and into manual, as soon as you put this into gear it automatically goes down into manual. You then have to push back up very carefully to get it into the auto mode. And auto mode, you've got paddles either side here on the steering wheel. Steering wheel is very good. It's quite dedicated to everything that's in here, but we'll talk about all the extra bits and pieces on this when we're out on the road test, because me sitting here just pointing the stuff is just not going to do it. Let's have a look around here. We'll leave the engine running. So we've got a very small cubby box. I mean, you wouldn't even get, well, you probably get a mobile phone in there, that's about it. Do get a handbrake, which I love a proper handbrake, and the reason for that I think is, as this is an all-wheel drive car, if you are off-road it's very handy to have a manual handbrake rather than one of those auto hold things, which I hate. You've got the mode selector down here, which is quite simple to use. There's only probably 2 or 3 modes, so it's not exactly overcomplicated. Heating system, well, very basic, but it has got aircon on it. Let's do all the infotainment system and the rest of it again when we're out on the road. We can talk about that. Finishing, well, I've got to say this probably is the most horrible plastic scratchy. I've never seen a finish like it. I have no idea where this has come from. It is really horrendous. And then they've added what looks like the top of my dad's razor as a bit of finishing. The clock's nice. I like that. It's a proper clock. And the air vents sound all right. Let's get it out on the road and see if we can find something we like about this car. So there's a famous expression, it's called don't judge a book by its cover, and I really should have listened to myself when I thought about that. We're out on the road in the Vitara, and my God, it's going to blow you away. This is a stunning car to drive. I really was put off by outside, the look, the colour, everything, as you probably gathered, but once I got in the car itself and started driving it, oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, let's get through this. We've got 3 modes. We've got an auto mode, which sets everything up for you and will manage everything for you, and it'll just drive really nicely. Then we've got a sport mode, which is cracking because that unleashes something which I never thought existed under the bonnet in this car, and that's one hell of a powerful little engine, and you'll be so surprised when you stick this in sport mode and put your foot down. It is just beyond belief. And then there is a snow mode, but it's more of a slippery mode, and what it does, it will lock up the diff and organise the power ratios, etc. on each of the individual wheels. So it is an all-wheel drive system, but it's probably as good, if not better, than a 4-wheel drive system on this car. So we've got all the basics of the original Vitara built into this. We've got the comfort, we've got the different modes, we've got everything. And then it doesn't stop there. Let's now talk about the safety mode. So we've got blind spot mirrors, we've got lane departure warning systems, we have autonomous braking. A little bit annoying, I must admit, it's rather oversensitive. It tends to go off at any excuse it wants to go off, and it really is annoying. On the cruise control, which is on your steering wheel, you can set the distance as well, so you can almost have autonomous driving when you're out on the motorway or on the dual carriageway. There is a number of lovely bits and pieces on the infotainment system. You've got Apple Play, you've obviously got Bluetooth, there's a USB down there for charging, there's a 12-volt adapter down there for charging. So the gearbox, let's talk about the gearbox. 6-speed auto gearbox. It is effortless, it is super smooth. I am really blown away by just driving this car. I should have got in this car, driven it, and then started on the outside, because I'm still not going to be convinced about the look of the car. It's just not my cup of tea, but that's only a personal opinion. You might like it. But getting inside, driving this car, this is a Vitara. This is how I expected it to be, if not better. There's a couple of cup holders, I've got to mention these. They're square. I know, yeah, it's a bit strange. Maybe in Japan they have square cups. I never ever been there, I don't know. This car is an amazing car to drive. It's not, shall I say, I was about to say it is value for money. It is value for money. We'll talk about that in a second. It is doing 36.7 to the gallon. Now, it's a little disappointing. I was expecting it to be doing around about sort of mid to late 40s, even up into the 50s. But 36, it's not really getting there, not where I think it should be. Anyway, let's get back to the price. So the cars themselves start around 16,000. We mentioned earlier there are 9 different variants. You know, for a car starting at 16 grand with all-wheel drive and all the features and the safety and the luxury and the comfort that you are getting in here, no brainer, guys. I could not rate this car any higher. I just hate the look of it. You've been watching me, AJ the Player. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and your fantastic comments keep them coming in. Thank you. And I'll catch you next week with another car. And if you're interested in any other cars, take a look on our YouTube site and you will see we've done over 100 cars. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next week.
Thank you for calling Learn Japanese in 20 seconds a day. Are you ready? Let's begin.
苦情があります。私は操り人形が嫌いです。ドキがします。
To sign up for tomorrow's lesson, please leave your name and number after the beep. Sayonara.